Hi, me and the new long legs, he'll buy me a drink, right? And he looks towards Gaz.
I give a solemn up nod.
Gaz is not that
today.
much, not as tall as the other. How tall are you, Vand? You're a halfling, right? How tall are you?
I am 3'5".
Oh yeah. Then Gaz is tall for sure compared to you. Yeah, so you two are gonna go up to the bar and grab another drink, is that the plan? Vand?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Vand kind of motions for you, and Gaz, if you join Vand, you both go up to the bar.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and so Uthal returns to the table from talking with Vand and sits next to Roxy, who's sitting there continuing to make different. Now she's making like a sad face with her peas and moving the mashed potatoes around to make it look like it has hair.
As he sits back down and the other two go to the bar, he's gonna tell Roxy to stay still.
Roxy's in the middle of like moving a pea, picks up the pea, and stays really still holding the pea in her hand.
And he's gonna cast Dispel Magic on Roxy again.
Are you casting it still at level 3?
That's the lowest level you can cast it at, so.
Are you gonna cast it at a higher level is what I meant.
I can't yet.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, you cast it at level 3.
I'm going to attempt to cast it at her childishness, I guess.
I will say if you give me one of your natty 20s, that she will be cured.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'd need to cast at a like 4th level with this effect.
Okay.
That's why this is the only one that stayed on her. Yeah, you're holding the pea, and all of a sudden, not the pea like you need to pee, like an actual pea, and you feel this warmth wash over you, Roxy, and your mind, like, things start flashing in your head, and you start remembering all these things that you've done that are, like, kind of weird for you, and you're like, why did I do that? What am I doing? What is going on with my head? And it's almost like you've been trapped in yourself. Like, it's a weird feeling, and you take a deep gasp of air, and you are no longer 6 years old in your mind.
Yay. She probably just kind of like sits back and is like, oh, by Helm, what happened? What happened, Uthal?
From what I can tell, you seem to have had a mind of a child for a little while now.
Yeah, that was unpleasant. I'm really sorry.
That is fine.
She's probably like remembering about exploding and being naked, so she's probably like bright red right now, like redder than normal.
Yeah. Been naked a couple times now.
She's just like bright red right now. She's just kind of sitting there, just like, yeah, can we not talk about this? It
is in the past.
Okay. It just goes to eating just quietly and awkwardly.
Yeah, you continue eating. And over the bar, what's going on over the bar? What are y'all doing? Is there something specifically that you wanted to do, or were you just drinking the entire time? And
Vand wants to talk to the newcomer a bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi. So you said that you just got to this town, hi?
I did. I've been a caravan guard for a while, trying to get as far away from the ocean as I can. I used to be a sailor.
All right. So, it's my duty to warn you, this is a cursed town. When I first arrived, the roof of this very inn exploded, and a lot of other fun things. I'm losing the accent.
I saw a bunch of
I was like, what happened to your accent? It went weird.
laying on the grass on the way coming up, and then I ran into some invisible trees and bumped my nose. So I wasn't all that surprised when I found that house with the living room all tore up, but I'm not real comfortable with this magic stuff. I can't do any of that thing that your friend did to your goo friend. But if you're here to help these people, then I'm here to help you. I pat the axe I've got strapped to my back with these scraggly, beat-up leather straps. I'm pretty good with this.
Hi, that's good to know. Ah, I've completely lost the accent now.
You tried.
I blame Nate, because he told me I could do it.
I believe you can do it, Frank.
No, I don't.
Well, just say your character had a few drinks. Lost the accent.
You know, he decided to take those few drinks.
You can do it.
But Van just turns to Gaz and just nods towards the X and motions back towards the table that they were just at. I just thought I'd warn you.
Oh, thanks for the warning. I'm usually pretty careful. I am
I've
not
been-
usually pretty careful.
Chased for the past 2 months by a giant thing with... And he just motions like teeth.
You don't know what he's talking
The
about.
thing that flies? I saw a big blob of wings a day or two out of town. I couldn't see what it was, though. It looked like a big old dragon or something.
And he just like shakes his head. No.
Different cursed thing.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I better stick with you. I think I need magic people to help me in this town.
Hi, if only I had magic.
So you're another one of us, eh?
I'm a normal one, I think.
Well, good. Me too. Let's go back to the table. I order another quadruple round and heft it all over back there.
Oh
with one.
yeah, like 2 silver a piece, and yeah, you get another ale for everybody, and you bring it over to the table. Or actually, the barmaid will bring it over to the table and kind of slide over. She has like a tray, and she's like handing out all of the mugs.
Hooray!
And Van and Gaz join the table. As now the blob person is no longer a blob person.
And she's no longer playing with her food like a 5-year-old either.
No, she's not.
This place
She actually
is
looks a
so-
little like ashamed. Is that kind of what you're going, Roxy? Like she looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, she's uncomfortable with the situation right now. It's not like looking at dead corpse level uncomfortable, but it's up there.
Okay, is there anything else anyone would like to do? RP-wise?
Roxy's going to ask Uthal how he was able to cure her, basically. So, Uthal, how did you do that?
I picked up this new spell. I'm gonna call it my Dispel Magic spell. It's difficult to learn, and I did it over the course of a week through hard study. I now have it memorized.
Roxy, you've heard of in the monastery, there were some other people who could do that kind of spell before. So it's not something new to you.
Mm.
You personally,
Yeah.
I don't think can do it, but you've heard of it before.
Yeah. I've known a few people that can do it. I never got to it. I kind of they kind of sent me off before I could actually learn how to do it, but it definitely seems useful for the area we're in. Do you mind teaching me sometime? I would greatly appreciate it.
I can certainly try. I have a feeling our magics are slightly different, though. But I can try.
I think it might work, though. She kind of like looks around and is like, it probably won't be as powerful without Ardoth around. What happened to him, by the way? He was, from what I remember, he was just there and then he wasn't there.
He came back about a day later after we returned. It was odd. He seemed slightly different. I do not know what happened to him. He went straight to his room that is his.
Hi, was it actually him?
I think so.
Did you check?
No.
Well, you probably should have checked.
Probably.
I have a feeling it was him, though.
Is she? And he looks towards Uthal and like motions towards his head.
Not anymore.
Okay. Just making sure.
Kind of
Yeah,
looks
I
over
guess
at
you're
Uthal. It's
hearing
like,
this whole
what
conversation.
does that mean?
Still a 6-year-old in the mind.
Ah, no. I'm fine.
Good to see you're not, And he does the blob face again.
Probably chuckles a bit.
Gaz also does the blob face immediately after and laughs.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not that either.
Yeah, and so you guys continue sitting, drinking a few rounds. Do you plan to just drink the rest of the night, or is there, because that is kind of, a lot has happened even though it's mostly RP stuff. Is there something specifically that you guys like to do tonight, or reconvene in the next day, or what's the plan?
Van doesn't know anything about this house that got broken into, so he's interested if the others heard about it. Is that from
Yeah, go ahead and RP that if you guys want.
from Gaz?
Mm-hmm. So, do you folks want to go check that house out?
The Shoe Post residence?
I don't know which one it is, but I'll show it to you. I remember where it was.
From your description, it sounds highly possible that it is. It could be just another farmhouse, though. But we should definitely check that out.
I think whoever was there is probably needing our help.
Most likely. I mean, the Shoe Polishers seem like a nice family.
It's a weird name, but
Shall we get on with that tomorrow morning?
I suppose.
I
I
agree.
think in the morning's a good idea. Look at that breakfast. It's second breakfast.
Thank you, Frodo.
Thank you.
But why
I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah. So, are you guys planning to go tonight or tomorrow?
The next morning.
The next morning.
Next morning.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you're no. Okay, so what happens is it becomes morning the next day, and normally when you wake up, Roxy, lately you haven't been able to see anything. This morning you can. You're not blind anymore.
Oh. Lovely.
And you all awaken, unless there's something specifically you would like to do, you reconvene in the common room where, the bar is and the food places. There's meals that are being prepared. Today is a little bit different than other days. The innkeeper's trying something new. It's called a buffet. Some of you may have heard of this newfangled thing. I would assume that Gaz has actually heard of it, called a buffet. But as word spreads, telephone style, people don't always hear the same things. And the barmaid continues to tell you that no, it is definitely pronounced buffet. And there's like this slew of like different types of meats and cheeses and stuff like that that are laid about, and you kind of pay one price and you can kind of eat whatever you want.
Buffet, huh? That must be spelled differently. Since I can't read, I can't be confused by homophones. All right, let's eat up.
Yeah, so if you do decide to eat any of this, they've kind of marked it up because you can eat all you want. It's 5 silver per meal. This is a lot, but you can eat what you want, pending you don't stay longer than like the second meal time. And so you guys can continue eating, or you bring your own rations or whatever you decide, or you can order like a single meal and it will be a smaller price. Probably more like around 1 silver.
I get the buffet and try to make them lose money on it.
Yeah, you're just shoving food. You're piling food.
Style, yeah.
How many rounds do you go for?
7.
Jesus.
I was
okay.
gonna say roll 1d20.
I'll roll a d12.
That's a lot.
Oh,
D20?
I mean,
That's so many.
By hell.
Uthal probably isn't hungry in the morning. Perhaps Roxy has noticed that Uthal doesn't eat in the morning. In Uthal's room is a bucket that's slowly just filling up with human ears.
Yeah. The lady who comes in and cleans your room every day
He hides the bucket.
Oh, you hide it. Okay. Yeah, Uthal's been waking up every morning with an assortment of 2 to 7 ears on his body every day. It's a little disarming. Uthal's not sure where they're coming from. 12. Okay, Gaz has 12.
I 12'd out. I'm starting to get disgusted with myself at about 4 and physically ill at about 9. But 5 silver is a lot of work to a guy like me, so I just force it and force it and force it. And by the end of eating an entire, like, hot plate tray, whatever they have in medieval Dungeons and Dragons for buffets, it is the first time you have heard me not talking since you all met me yesterday. I'm just silently groaning, sitting completely immobile in my chair with sort of like this half asleep, half awake torpor on my face.
Yeah, and you guys have been eating and talking, and actually all of you have stopped eating. Probably, pending, I don't know how many rounds. Uthal hasn't eaten anything. I don't know how much Roxy eats or how much Vand eats.
She was probably
Oh,
halfway
Van's
through,
eating.
like, she probably only got like a single plate and was
Yeah,
halfway
you don't
through
have to
and
get the
got
buffet even. You
disgusted.
can just get a smaller meal that's only like a silver. Or if you have your own rations, you can eat those. So
I
yeah, you
did,
guys have been
but
waiting
it's
for like 11 rounds of food as Gaz seems to eat a lot. And you've just been kind of watching him, and at the end he just kind of like burps this loud burp, and something in his stomach makes a noise. And normally I go clockwise for these, but Gaz, since you're the newbie and this is our first wild magic of the night, thank you to Rage Strike, why don't you do the honor of rolling us a 1d10,000?
Gladly.
She
10,000.
really-
Here comes the magic.
Oh, an
All
84,
right.
81.
Oh no, that's an awful.
Oof.
You're gonna die. Rest in
Oh,
peace.
I was going
Yes.
for
Oh wait,
And
It's
I
a
can
new-
actually
yeah.
just control find, and it's gonna be awesome.
maybe the new ones, the low ones, are the
Ooh.
bad ones.
No,
No, dang
I
it.
found this one for Meg.
Ooh, interesting. I'm not going to tell you what it does necessarily, because you guys are going to go outside soon, and I'll tell you what happens when you go outside.
Nice.
Explodes in the sun.
Yeah, everything explodes when you go outside. No, I'm just kidding. But if you could, please roll me a 1d4.
All right.
He explodes 4 times.
The noble 3.
Go 3. Okay. I'll tell you what happens as you guys walk out. So once you finish your meal, do you guys all plan to get up and head on out?
I think
Yes.
Van isn't even like eating with them. He's doing whatever job, like cutting wood or whatever.
Yeah, you've been outside, like, chopping wood and then bringing wood in, and at the end of that, the innkeeper kind of tosses you some coin, and you find yourself with, like, 5 silver. And as you come back in, you see the rest of the group kind of standing up, and you guys are getting up to leave the inn. Are you all going to go out together then?
Yes.
Anything else you want
I'm
to do?
looking forward to the fresh sunshine.
Yeah. So you all walk outside, and Gaz, all of a sudden, you feel the warmth of the sun on you, and it feels nice. It's a nice morning.
Ah,
You thought you were gonna throw up for a moment there because of all the food you had, but you're fine. You guys continue to walk out. Are you just gonna walk all the way out there?
yeah, I'll lead him out there.
Yeah. So you walk for like 1.5 miles, and as you guys are continuing to walk, something's interesting. For a while, you've been seeing the vegetation and it's slowly been coming back to life, but this time it looks like everything's like 10 times more vibrant, and the fruits on the trees are just like, there's way more fruit on the trees than there have been before. You pass like a bushel of like blueberry bushes or blackberry bushes, sorry, and you see the blackberries on them, and they just look like bigger and juicier, and there's way more of them on the bushes than you saw before. And this is the wild magic. All vegetation within 10 miles is 10 times as nutritious for 1d3 weeks. That means the prices of the food and the buffets are actually going to go down in price.
I
Because they have
love this
abundance
town.
of food.
I've solved hunger.
Yeah. I had to freak you out a little bit when you first went out because I was just like,
Oh, of course. I pick one of these melon-sized blackberries off of a bush and take a bite into it, even though I'm already disgustingly full.
oh yeah, you take a bite out of it.
Talk with my mouth full, no one can understand what I'm saying.
It tastes delicious, but at the same time, you've eaten so much food,
Yeah.
you're feeling a little sick.
Yeah, I just sort of throw it on.
Constitution save.
Yeah, you guys continue to walk, and as you get closer to the house, yes, about a half a mile to the farm, you kind of point out, Gaz, you're like, that's it. It looks like it's only about half a mile away. That's the house that you saw.
There we go, everybody.
And you all recognize this, if you've been there before, as the shoe polisher's house.
Listen,
Was this the
not-
one you were talking about?
it is.
Yeah.
Were these folks in trouble? Did somebody want to tear up their furniture?
What do you mean?
Well, why don't I come show you?
Sure.
Yeah. Everyone roll me a perception.
Nat 20.
And
Nat
if you have nat 20s, oh yeah, everybody remove a nat 20. Never mind. You all see this. Every single one of you.
Unless Tech Priest wants to use a nat 1.
Oh, unless Tech Priest, you want to use a nat 1?
I'll use
No.
the 20 for now.
Okay. You all use nat 20 and you all look around and you see the left side of the farm where the cows were that were alive still. They are not alive. They look the same as the other ones that you had seen before. They're all like, their skin's missing and it looks like their blood's all drained from them. There's flies everywhere. With natty 20s, you can actually see something at the barn. It looks like something's over there. You could walk over and look at it, but before you go to the barn, the house is to the right of you, and you do see that the window is blasted open. It looks like something came running out of it. It kind of looks like it might be the size of Uthal as you're examining it.
Roxy's gonna look at the hole, then Uthal and back at the hole. Like, what? Did you do that?
I did not, but I was worried when we found that Mrs. Shoe Polish had been turned into a werewolf.
What?
Ah!
Which, by the way, she is now dead. I did not want to tell you when you were acting oddly.
And what about the rest of the werewolves? Ah, fuck. Wrong accent.
All
Close enough, though.
the werewolf den was slain. She was the last one we killed. We brought her body back to her husband in the were form. I do not know what happened after that. The house was intact last I had seen.
Roxy's probably just like, moment she heard Shoe Polish being dead, she probably just kind of like lowers her head and just kind of quietly stumbles towards the house. Just kind of like maybe saying like a prayer to Helm to herself.
Yeah. Are you planning to go into the house? And if you are planning to go into the house, is your plan to go into the house through the wall or through the window that's been like blasted open, or is there a different?
I think she's gonna try to be respectful and just go through the front door.
Yeah. You kind of go to open the front door, and the front door is locked.
I went in through the hole yesterday.
See. So she just kind of stumbles to the hole, I guess.
Yeah, you guys all gonna climb up and go into the house?
Yeah.
Vand is nodding, everyone's nodding.
Vand is
Yes.
probably going to stand guard outside the house.
Okay. Yeah, Vand
Three
stays
people in the house,
outside and
we
kind
don't
of
need that
looks out, keeps a lookout. Is anyone, who all is going in? So is it Roxy's nodding,
Uthal will go in.
Gaz
Gaz
and
is
Uthal? Okay. So you all go into the house. Upon first looking into the room, you see what I said before, which is like, it looks like someone jumped on the couch and there's cushion fur everywhere, or the cushion feathers everywhere. Stuff was smashed. There's the beautiful paintings that you saw of the family before. Roxy, you remember this when it was pristine, when everything was sitting in its perfect place, and it was like that perfect little homely home that was here. And now it is like, at least in this first initial area that you're looking in, it looks like it's a freaking train wreck. Without further investigation, that's all you see.
I think she's gonna go over and kind of correct the pictures. And
You're
then
gonna
just
collect
kinda,
the paintings?
Well, yeah, like correct them, try to put them back in their normal place.
Yeah.
She might actually take one of them.
Gaz and Uthal, you kind of see Roxy picking up paintings off the floor and trying to like rehang them on the wall, and picking up the ones that were on the coffee table, and she kind of looks around. There's no place to put them because the coffee table is like smashed, so you put them in your bag? Is that what you're planning to do?
Yeah, she'll just pocket it.
Yeah, she pockets them and puts them in her bag.
When she starts cleaning up, I jump in and try to help, and am rapidly stumped for what to do because I can't even clean up a place that hasn't been destroyed. So I just sort of move splintered wood around in a manner that's slightly more orderly.
Yeah, you like push a bunch of like wood
Yeah.
from like the table into a corner.
Yeah.
You're not really cleaning, but you're like, you're making it.
Yeah, it's time to help now, so this is what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm helping.
I'm doing
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah, it's you know, you're moving stuff out of the way, but it's not, you're not like accomplishing much with it.
Correct.
Uthal, what are you planning to do?
While they're doing that, Uthal's gonna be searching every room of the house to see if he could find any clue as to what, where Mr. Shoe Polish is, where his body could be if he's dead. Because right now Uthal is thinking the worst, that
Yeah.
Mr. Shoe Polish is
Are you
back.
gonna use a natty 20 on an investigation?
Yes. That's
Yeah.
the point I
You
really
use your natty 20. I don't think we're gonna roll much this today. It's gonna be a lot of natty 20s. Yeah, you search the house, and almost every room looks perfect and the same. Well, maybe not the same because you didn't go in the whole entire house, but everything looks perfect except for one room. One room has like the bed sheet kind of moved over, like it's the biggest bed in the house, the main bedroom. It looks like someone had been sleeping in there. There's kind of feathers all over the bed and some feathers on the floor, and inside of the bed is just like all the spoons. So when you search the kitchen, all the utensils were in the kitchen except for the spoons. So all the spoons are in this one room, and any mirrors, like there's like a hand mirror that was probably, you know, on a desk or something. It's in the bed. There's a large mirror that's like sitting. It looks like it might have been in a corner of a room at one point. Now it's like facing the bed and it's just looking at it. Looks like anything that has a reflection or that could have a reflection is now around or in this bed, and there are just kind of like feathers everywhere, and you're not really sure. From what you gather, there might have been like a bird creature that was hoarding all the mirror-like things and sleeping in this bed.
interesting.
I know why Tech Priest is laughing, because you know exactly what caused this. But Roxy doesn't know.
Trying to think what kind of creature would Uthal think of, like some sort of feathery vampire? But vampires, he thinks, from what I believe, what Uthal would know, that he knows that vampires can't see the reflection, so he's confused. Why it's like some sort of feathery thing that likes.
So you're trying to use like a nature check or something like that.
Yeah.
Trying to
something
figure
like
out
that.
what it could be. Are you going to use a natty 1 or a natty 20?
Yep, using natty 20.
Yeah, you use your natty 20, and you know of some bird creatures. You've never seen them yourself, but you know of some. You also know there was a party member that was with you who... You were with them, yeah. Who had wings at one point. You kind of try to remember his name. Garrick something.
Garrick.
You think back, and you remember when you first came back to the house, when you took Mrs. Shoe Polish in and you showed Mr. Shoe Polish what had happened, you're starting to remember and everything's coming back to you. You remember afterwards you all kind of went a little crazy and people were moving around, jumping all around the house. You remember jumping out the window. That was you. You did that. You remember Garrick sitting on the chair on the couch, spoon in hand, looking at it, smiling with a giant grin on his face, while everything else was like everyone else was running around, smashing things.
Uthal will not mention this to anyone. But
Okay.
there's no sense of Mr. Shoe Polish anywhere.
Not that you can tell. You don't see Mr. Shoe Polish in the house. And it doesn't look like anyone else has done much in the house other than this one room. It looks like perhaps Garrick or some other bird creature that had similar feathers to Garrick. Because as you were investigating and looking at the feathers, you do remember that those feathers look like the feathers that were on Garrick. Has been sleeping in this room and hoarding anything reflective. This is why when you first went into the room, Gaz, or when you went in the house, I was wondering if you were going to explore the house or if you were just going to go, if you're going to look at every room, because I was like, oh god, if he goes upstairs.
No, it was more playing to type to get bored of things that weren't completely smashed up.
Yeah, and everything else was like normal when you first went in the kitchen. Yeah.
And I hate being the one guy who's like, okay, we're just gonna roleplay me for an hour.
Yeah, so if you rewind and you look, I kind of had a grin on my face because I'm like, ooh, I wonder I wonder if he's gonna find out about this room.
Okay.
So Uthal is thinking of the spoons and Garrick right now.
Mm-hmm.
He still doesn't know why the mirror got moved, but he kind of thinks that Garrick had something to do with this, and he wished he knew where Garrick was right now.
Yeah.
But he's
You
gonna
seen
return.
You haven't seen Garrick in a long while.
He's gonna probably return downstairs to both Roxy and Gaz and say, I think we should find our friend Garrick at some point. I have a feeling he might know something about this.
What do you mean?
Okay. Is he a smart guy?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I would say he's good with knowledge.
Oh, then let's find him. Lead the way. I'll help.
Perhaps we should check out the barn. I found no body or no notice of Mr. Shoe Polish.
Yeah, and as you look around, it looks like Roxy and Gaz have actually cleaned up the room a little bit. There's like a pile of wood chips and all the broken wood in a pile near the window, so you could easily kind of like slide those out and burn them or something if you guys wanted. There's been feathers that have been removed in the cushions. Like basically anything that's wrecked has kind of been pushed towards like that window. And then Roxy has anything that's like still kind of in a state where you could like hang it back up, has put it back up or put it away or whatever. Including the one spoon. Now if you look in the drawer with all of the silverware, there's all the silverware and just one spoon in the spoon spot.
I take the spoon that I had filched earlier and put it next to that spoon.
Oh no, that was the spoon that Roxy
that
had
was
put away.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Uthal's gonna walk out now without saying anything else.
Okay.
And go
Yeah,
over to
Uthal jumps out the window. Or are you gonna open the door?
I'm gonna go through the door.
Yeah, so you unlock the door and you walk out.
That way it doesn't seem like it's a hole exactly my size.
Oh, I see what you mean. Although everyone knows it already because of your previous perception checks. Yeah, Uthal kind of ducks and goes through the door and starts walking towards the barn. Van, you see this? You see Uthal walking out, and he's walking towards the barn. Does everyone go to follow?
Yeah, Van's definitely gonna follow.
Yeah.
Would you say,
Roxy.
Uthal, you were saying something?
I was gonna say to Van, I'm gonna go check out the barn. I have not found Mr. Shoe Polish yet.
Probably not a good idea to go alone. I'll go with you.
Okay.
Yeah, you all start walking towards the barn, and like I said, you saw something over there before, and as you get closer, you see a pile. It looks like fresh dirt has been piled in like a pretty large shape, possibly where a body could be. At the head of this pile is kind of like this makeshift cross that has been, it looks like it was made fairly hastily, but it also looks like it was made with care. It's a cross, and in the middle has a symbol, and there's a beaded necklace that is hung around the cross and has like rosary beads kind of thing going on. Some flowers that have been laid upon the ground before the cross. And Uthal, you feel this like clump of like, what's that, sadness in your throat, and it kind of goes into your stomach as you quickly realize this might be Mrs. Shoe Polish's body.
Well, here lies Mrs. Shoe Polish. Hope her husband isn't too far, but also I hope her husband is still alive, and he did not take himself or something from sadness.
You're saying this to Van?
Yes.
Roxy and Gaz, are you walking behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like 10 feet behind you're walking, because
Yeah, when they get into like the bro hug mode, we kind of like pulling back a little bit.
yeah, so Van, you're kind of standing next to him as he says this to you.
Yep. Van just stands there. He makes a quick little, motion with his hand, almost like he's saying a prayer silently for whoever that's dead.
And then all of you roll me perceptions, and I guess tech.
20!
If you'd like to use a natty 1, you can. Otherwise, you all get 20s. You're having this moment. Gaz and Roxy are kind of standing back, watching, and Uthal standing in front of it and looks very, kind of a little heartbroken as Van looks up at him and is just trying to be there for this person who has slowly become his friend over the past few weeks. And all of a sudden you hear something lightly, like the reins of a horse hitting something lightly inside of the barn.
I think
you hear that?
How tall
I
is
think-
this barn?
It's pretty tall. I would say, oh god, how tall is a normal barn? Like 20 feet? 20, 30 feet? A normal barn size? That can also hold, it looks like it could hold probably 2 herds of cows. So it's a pretty large, like wide barn, but it's not super tall. It doesn't have like 2 stories. But it looks like it has like an attic-y space in the roof. Like there's a little window that's at the top, and then there's a large barn door, and it looks like a lot of windows that go all the way around, but they're all closed. So you can't see
30
into...
by 30?
It's not a square, it's kind of long, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fairly large barn. It looks very well kept, like a very nice barn. Similar to the house. The house was a gorgeous farmhouse. This looked like it was a place that had a lot of cows that grazed, and they kind of basically moved. They had them all kind of sectioned off, so there were about like 5 sections of grazing areas where they would basically rotate them into, it seemed.
Any easy way up to that attic area that we can see?
You
They're all
look
windows.
around with a 20 perception. You think there might be maybe a ladder inside of the barn, or a stairway inside the barn that you could like go up to that space. But outside, it doesn't look like you could unless you wanted to climb. You could potentially climb.
Uthal will lift me up there.
Uthal could throw you up there.
What kind? Is there like a window at a certain height Is that what we're aiming for right now?
He's specifically looking at the attic one, I think, but there are windows all the way around. They're all of them are closed, so you can't see into them. You could like punch it and looking. Looks like they're closed from the inside. Like they have little shutters that open and close, and they're all closed right now.
Van kind of just nods towards the attic window and says, I can probably look up there. Might be able to get an eye of what we're facing, if we're actually facing anything.
You want me to lift you up there?
I could probably climb. Don't want to waste your nat 20s.
I think for that perception though, Roxy would use the 1 just to get out of the way.
Roxy moves out of the way.
No,
she used that 1.
The nat 1.
You're using the nat 1 to try to climb?
No, the perception.
Oh, you're using okay.
Yeah. I guess my deal is like she's too distracted with all the dead things around her. She's not really
Yeah, you're looking, there's a lot of dead stuff. You're looking down at you're actually Gaz, you notice that Roxy's staying kind of away. Everyone's like at the barn now, and Roxy's like still standing in the middle of the road, like not really wanting to get any closer as she's just staring at the place where there's clearly a body that's buried. And Uthal kind of goes down to put his hands down, and Van puts his leg there, and kind of Uthal gives him a little boost, and Van climbs up. I'm guessing you're using a natty 20. Minus one of those natty 20s, you've got like a bajillion of them.
Man, I have 32 left, guys. What am I gonna do?
And you climb up, and you grab each of the little slates of wood, and fortunately for you, because this barn is so well kept, there's not like any wood, like broken pieces that like would kind of fall apart. It's not a dilapidated barn or anything like that. It's very, very well kept. And you climb up. Now, what's your plan when you get to the window? Because the window is closed from the inside, and it's also locked from the inside. But it's those old windows that like they slide up. They don't like, old windows didn't slide up. They just kind of like opened, like weird, like open weird. So,
like a flap.
yeah, they like flinged open, but it's like closed, locked from the inside.
Van is going to try and like peek between the floor and the door if there's like a little gap there. Because it can't be airtight, right?
You can Rainbow Six Siege it.
Down by like at the floor at the ground?
No, from up top.
Oh,
from top. Where he's climbing.
So it's a window, right? And then on the inside there's like it's closed. And there's shutter, like there's like
yeah, there's shutters. The shutters. So if he's already climbed up there, can he peek like between the cracks of that shutter to see if there's anything inside?
Yeah, I guess you could attempt to do that, and that would be another perception check. And if you're gonna natty 20, fortunately for you, yes, you look through the cracks and can't see a lot. It looks kind of dark where the little bits and rays of light are coming through, because the sun rises from the west, the east, right? In
real life?
Yeah.
East.
The east, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it rises from the east, and this is kind of facing the other side, so it's not super bright in there, but you can see little bits of light shining through. It looks like there's some boxes in there. You can't tell what is in the boxes, obviously, but you see like a lot of boxes. It looks like there's storage in that top room.
Van is going to slowly draw his tiny non-combat dagger and try and lift the lock.
Ooh, like
he's gonna stab it. Is this a upward shutter or a double shutter door?
It's like a double shutter, but the window itself is locked, and the window opens up like this way. Out.
Okay, so at least for the shutter part, he's going to try and open the shutter. So he's going to try and slip the knife in between the little crease there and lift it.
I think I'm not describing it right, because the shutters are on the inside of the house, inside of the barn. So you'd have to open the window first, and then get the shutters. Or not? They're not shutter. Like it's kind of like shutters, but they're not. I don't know how to explain it. Not explaining myself well, but that's on the inside, and the window's on the outside.
In that case, he's going to try and jimmy the window open.
Guessing you use your natty 20, you jimmy the window open. You don't even do any damage, really. You do it so well. You kind of like take your axe and you kind of motion it a little bit, and you're very careful about it. You put your hand down, and you have small hands because you're a halfling, and you're able to kind of wedge it in there and move it up, and kind of there's that little latch, you know, in those old windows that unlocks it, and all you do is like turn it, and that's like how it locks and unlocks. So you're able to like kind of get enough wedge in there that you can stick your hand in and turn the knob a little bit, and it moves up. The damage that you do to the window is very easily fixable, and you're able to jimmy the window open. And because you're small, you can actually climb through if you want. Is that your plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can climb under and through. No one else is going to fit through that. It's not a lot of space. It's like one of those windows, you know how like the old windows like move open like this and close? Like no one else is fitting through there. But you can slide in and you push the shutters. They're not really shutters, I don't know how to explain them. But you push the shutters open. They're not like latched or anything, they were just closed. And you push them open and you kind of fall into this room and make a little bit of noise. And as you make this noise, everyone roll me a initiative. You're all 20s, but you still have to roll me so that I can add some alterations of who goes first. You all go before. Oh, actually, I get a natty 20 too. So I still need to roll. But I'll let you guys roll first.
So
I have
really,
a
it's
+4, so I'm happy.
down to whoever has the highest plus.
Yes.
When everyone has nat 20, no one does.
Yeah, everyone has nat 20s, but it's down to like whoever has the highest.
I have a +7.
And you guys are all cool for like a little bit longer since we started later today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I'm down.
So everyone has rolled. I gotta figure out what my
I'm really glad Van didn't decide to jump back down, because Uthal would have tried to catch him and then polymorphed into him.
Wait, what?
The next person he touches, he polymorphs into them.
Yeah.
There can only be one.
I think that's why part of the reason he wants
Oh.
Roxy to touch him.
Oh, good. Maggie goes the same turn as me.
Yeet.
well, I have a natty 20 as well.
I know, you go the same turn because we both have +4s.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. So it's gonna go
Figure out
and
who's first.
then I didn't want to roll with the character sheet because I don't want to give away what it is yet.
Fair enough.
It's a
And then
Cthulhu
it's
monster.
gonna be Uthal, and after Uthal will be Gaz, and then after Gaz will be Roxy, which seems about right. All right. And so what happens as this noise, you all hear it, Van kind of tumbles into the room above and you hear this loud noise. And as that happens, something large moves inside of the building, and it sounds like it's like running and it hits something. And Van, you hear something running towards you. It's running up the stairs. Basically, you're in an attic area of the barn, and there's only one door. Or there's not really a door, but there's like a staircase that goes downstairs to the far end of you. So you're on one end, and at the other end is the staircase. And you hear something running up the staircase, and it's making a lot of noise. It sounds like it is running on 4 legs.
Vanda's probably going to crawl out of the hole he just came through.
You're gonna go back out the window?
You know, it's comedic effect of walking into the room and just slowly closing the door while leaving the room.
Okay, yeah. There's no door, but you
Oh,
basically climb back out the window since you get the first action. So you climb back out the window, and the creature starts running up the stairs. And as you're climbing out the window, you barely get a view of something dark and large that just comes up the staircase, and you fall down. And
I made it angry.
you're not even paying attention to like how you're falling down unless you want to use a natty 20 on that.
No, I can fall 25
Yeah,
feet with no
you
damage.
fall down right on top of Uthal. Uthal, Van just like falls on top of you after you heard all this noise that's going on. It is now my creature's turn. It ran. Uthal, it's your turn.
Our clothes are touching. Not
And
our
also,
skin.
you guys can talk freely at any time, but it's currently Uthal's turn.
Okay, so Van's fully clothed then, so I guess I don't polymorph into him? Or does... I'm confused right now, sorry.
He just fell on top of your head, so I guess you did touch
He has a
him.
sundial.
So unless you want to catch him, but he does kind of touch your skin.
Okay, because Uthal wasn't planning on catching him.
No, but
So-
he falls on top of you. It wasn't a planned thing.
Okay.
Unless you want to use your action to catch him,
In
you are
my
caught off guard.
argument,
What was
I'm
that?
a monk with a practically feather fall. I have like the professional fall move. I forgot what it's called. Slow fall. So I fall slower than most people.
Okay.
So in argument, it's like he can probably say, "Get out of the way."
But it's not his turn. It's your turn.
Oh,
Yeah. And now it's his turn as you've already fallen. You're already falling.
Okay.
What would you like to do, Uthal?
Guess that happens.
You polymorph into duplicate, so you should be able to see Van's character sheet, right?
yeah.
You are now welcome to use Van's character sheet. Van, you fall down, and you were expecting Uthal to be there, and you were actually falling kind of slow, and you kind of put your hand down, and you're like, move, but Uthal doesn't move, and you touch him barely, and kind of land next to him, and Uthal transforms. Everyone else sees this. Uthal now looks exactly like Van. Van, describe yourself again so Uthal knows what he looks like, and everyone else can envision this again.
But Nate, if you go to bio, you can describe yourself as me. I have all the details in there.
I feel like there's a curse on our Goliath to make him as small as possible.
Okay. So Uthal goes from being 7'11" to 3'6", and is now small with golden, rugged skin. He grows some auburn hair and no longer looks like a Goliath. He looks like a halfling.
Mm-hmm.
Hobbit. Yeah, halfling. His eyes go from being this vibrant violet to a dull green, and he seems like he puts on a little bit of weight, but he actually lost a lot.
Whoa, that's a height differential. You know, I'm insulted.
So
He's also wearing this skin-tight suit that looks like, if anyone knows what the Flash's suit looks like, that's what he's wearing. He's wearing the Flash's suit with a little, like, emblem on it. And yeah, you look just like Van. You don't know that necessarily, but yeah, when you kind of like stand there and you look down, you're all of a sudden at the same height as Van, and you look at him and normally he's very tiny, and you're like, oh no, not again.
crap, I'm small again. Well, not gonna stop me this time. Uthal's gonna try to just barge into the barn door like he would normally would to try to get into somewhere. Because right now he thinks that there's a monster in there, and he probably still has his same strength. But
Yeah, are you trying to like just bash the door open, or are you unlatching it and walking and rushing in?
I'm trying to bash through the door.
I would say roll me like a strength, but you get a natty 20 on it. So yeah,
Yeah.
remove your natty 20. How many do you have left now?
2.
Okay. Yeah, you barge into the door. You barge in, so that'll be your action. And you rush into the room. How far do you want to run in?
Oh, I can go a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, you can go fast.
Gotta go fast.
I'll just go 20 feet in.
Yeah,
just
you go.
so that
You
people are
rush
still
in
kinda
20
near
feet
me.
in. You look around. Around you on the ground is a bunch of like hay. There's stalls to the left and to the right of you. It looks like there's like probably 4 to 5, or maybe, yeah, 4 to 5 aisles on the left and 4 to 5 aisles to the right of you. Straight ahead is kind of a staircase that goes up to the top of the ceiling, and you actually, as you stand in there, you can hear something walking above you. Do you have a bonus action or anything like that that you'd want to do?
So do I still have all my spells, or do I only go off of his?
All you have is that. Polymorph
Okay.
is you are now Vand. Polymorph means you do not have your other things. You do have your own memory, but you don't
Okay.
have your own strength, your own everything else. You now are Vand for any purposes other than.
So, since monk training takes years, would he technically have my key, or?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Excellent. One step closer. Than
So you
all
might
monk
have to make
running.
like another one that's for him, like Frank's
Yeah.
and yours.
Can we make a duplicate sheet for him?
Yeah, that way I'm not.
Because
Can I
whenever he changes anything on mine, it
I
moves
can't
by.
duplicate the character sheet.
No.
There's not a way for me to do that.
All right.
Which is really stupid. Why can't I
They
do that?
only
I can
touch
keep
things.
track of key
Okay.
on mine.
Well, you can add another advanced sheet. Here, I can just show you.
I'm
Watch
just
this. You can just add another one here, and you can do Nate's. You see what I'm doing here, Nate?
It hasn't shown up yet.
Look at the character sheet.
Oh, there it is.
So you can track yours on his sheet. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
Hit point wise, I will add that as well in this spot here.
It might not work because my sheet's been bugging out, but
What?
That
no.
popped up.
it's been popping away for some reason. So we'll see if it stays. It works for you. I don't know why it doesn't.
Do you see Nate? Do you see
Yep.
the HP?
I see it.
Okay.
This is gonna be weird.
Cool. So you'll just have to track it in that spot. It's a little weird, but it's it'll work for now. Cool. Do you have a bonus action that you'd like to do or anything of that sort? I know you have to now learn a whole new character.
No,
Frank's here to help though.
I think I'll just stop there and try to locate this thing and.
Yeah, you know where it is exactly. You can hear it walking up above you. It looks like you need to run up the staircase to get to it. Next up is going to be Gaz. What would you like to do? You just saw Uthal break through and bust open the barn door. Did not care about keeping it open at all. It seems like maybe he does like Kool-Aid Manning through doors and windows, as you've seen another hole that looks just like him. You also just saw him transform into Van. You know he can do magic, but you're like, that's crazy.
I like this guy. This is my approach to problem solving. I will unstrap my axe and charge into the barn and look to see what our first little halfling friend saw before we got the second one that made him fall out the window.
Yeah, since you were by where the body was, where the buried body was, how far are you running forward into the barn? How many feet?
20 if I can do it without using a double move.
What is your character's move? Well, look at your character sheet.
I am still at regular
30
move.
speed. So yeah, you can totally, you can run in. You'll be behind Vand 2, aka Uthal.
That's
Cool.
fine.
Yeah, you like run up and you're right next to Vand or Uthal, and you guys can talk freely if you want. You look around. You see the same thing that he saw in the barn. There's hay all over the ground. There's about 4 rows of stalls to the left, 4 rows of stalls to the right. There's a staircase that is like 20 feet ahead of you, and it goes up into the attic, it seems.
What did you see?
Is that the van?
Yes, the one that's in the barn.
Uthal. He's talking to Uthal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There is something above. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Some sort of 4-legged creature, perhaps.
I
moves
will. I will maintain ranks with small Goliath Hobbit guy as we advance toward the stairwell.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was answering Frank. So you are both, you're just gonna stand there? Is there anything else you wanted to do?
No, once I catch up, I will maintain pace.
Okay. Next up is going to be Roxy.
After seeing the person fall from the window and turn our Goliath into another version of him, she's probably going to kind of snap out of her daze and run over to him to see if he's all right. The original band, if he's all right.
Hi. I'm perfectly okay.
Okay. What happened to Uthal? He turned into you.
Hi, so you know the weird magic that's going around in this place?
I know.
And he kind of just makes the face.
the blob face?
Oh, not the blob face, just the face of.
The mat, yeah. Okay.
She probably doesn't. It
other
probably
way.
doesn't click. What that face is. It's like, well, why did you hop out of the window? Why did you fall out?
Well, you know, the big beastie that's up there. That's why.
There's something in there.
Well, until it runs out.
Is there anything else you want to do with your turn, Roxy?
After hearing that there's something in there, she's probably gonna run in there too. Like, shit, they ran in there.
Yeah, so you walk in and follow. You follow Gaz, and you're kind of side by side with Gaz. Ahead of you is Uthal in van form, and it is now actual Van's turn.
Van is gonna run up to Van's V2.
Yeah, you rush ahead of Roxy and Gaz. What's your plan?
Ready, action, attack.
Okay, yeah, you ready action. If the creature comes down here within range, you're going to. What are you going to do exactly?
I'm gonna punch it.
You're going to punch it with your fist. Okay, cool. It is creature's turn. How many feet can I run? Oh yeah. It comes rushing down the stairs on all fours. As it comes down, you guys see this massive black bear at first sight. It looks like a bear, and you can thank old Mr. Frodo for this creature. But as you look closer at the bear, it's breathing and it's heavy, and its face looks contorted and like weird, and its teeth are kind of weird looking, and its eyes are bright glowing red, and it looks over and it just makes this huge loud roar and rushes forward towards you, towards the two vans, and first van gets to do an attack.
All right, Uthal.
Not
It's
I know.
you. I didn't have
not
an attack.
Uthal.
Where's the joke?
Yeah.
Where's the joke? Guess we're both the same.
Van Senior.
All right, so going to make unarmed attack. 19.
Well, you have to use your natty 20s.
Yeah.
So,
Damage 20, 12.
yeah, you get a crit. So roll me your crit damage.
Oh god, I forgot what crit damage does. I haven't done this.
Double.
Double damage, yeah. So you roll twice, but you
Oh,
don't get to
just-
add your strength and stuff onto that.
Without strength, it's 9.
So 9 plus 12.
Yep, 9 plus 12.
Yes, 9 plus 12. Cool. Yeah, you. I don't know if you want to explain how you do this as the bear comes rushing towards you.
Am I killing it or am I just punching it?
You're not killing it.
Okay, just making sure.
You're not
So-
killing that easily.
One punch.
I don't know what Mr. Frodo donated. It could be a super weak creature. That's right, Mr. Frodo, I'm saying you're weak.
Oof.
Bring it.
Oof.
You're amazing, Mr. Frodo. This is for you.
And
Don't incite
Yeah.
chaos.
not like standard martial arts style. He's more like of a boxing style.
Mhm.
Just gives the bear a hard right hook.
to
Right
the
hook.
face. Yeah, you
Like
hit the
right to the
jaw, and its jaw kind of moves down, and you see its mouth. It's large. Its mouth is like the size of your face as it just roars at you really loudly, and the wind blows in your face, but you don't seem like you care that much about it as you just made that punch to its face, and you can see all of its teeth.
Do I get a bonus action?
No, because it's not your turn. It's just a readied action that you were doing.
Just checking.
I know. Nice try. And it is going to do its attack on you first because you just punched it.
An appropriate response.
Yeah. And so first it is going to do this, and you're just going to find out what it is, but you don't know what it is.
Oh boy.
Ties.
I think because you have to roll a 20, you succeed on it.
Are we counting that as one of my 20s?
Yes.
Alright.
And it is going to make its first attack, which is a 23. I'm guessing that does hit.
Yep.
And it's going to hit you for 12 slashing.
Excellent.
So it does that. It goes in first for... Where is he? It must succeed on it. Yeah, so that's when it does it. And then, so it goes in to bite you, and that happens, but you succeed no problem, and then it goes in to claw you with its other hand and claws you and scrapes at you.